Good morning, happy Tuesday, and welcome to the rest of the day. For the rest of the day, everything humanly possible will be shot on my DJI OM4 Gimbal, which is a smartphone gimbal, and it does not get as much love as I would like. So that being said, I want to make sure to start putting it to use. So I'm going to make sure as much as everything as possible is shot on the DJI today. I say as much as humanly possible because unless I just work it without the lens, which probably will happen a couple times throughout the day as well, depending on how some of the features work with it. It doesn't, it takes a couple seconds to throw everything together because the lens does need a counterbalance to, have the lens on there to get that wide frame advantage. And sometimes the adjustment, at least for me, because again, another thing not super skilled in with this yet, is the setup for it. So I've had it fall down on me a couple times, which is the point of this. But without further ado, this is the gimbal itself. Those are the counterbalances. This is the gimbal. It has a tripod attached to the bottom of it, and this is the OM4, which is the newest model, and it has a magnetic clamp, which is currently attached to my phone. So all you have to do is just pop the phone on here. It's a bigger advantage to what a lot of the other gimbals had in the past, because you would always have to balance them out like every single time you put it on there. This time the phone just auto balances, the gimbal auto balances everything pretty well. It keeps it really, really stable, which I thoroughly love. It makes all the footage seem really, really smooth and professional. So with all that being said, the only other disadvantage I can think of is I like to shoot everything on the big camera on the iPhone, and that requires me to have it turned around like this, which isn't like the most natural look and feel of everything. Just means it's a small adjustment, and honestly I could also just throw everything on the front facing camera and go with it that way. The differences are with this front and back facing. So this is the back facing. Wouldn't really be too much more difficult than it would be on the big rig. Alright, well, not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and say that not a lot has happened today, because a lot has actually happened in my day. Really just being busy more than anything. But that also means that I wasn't able to do a whole lot of work with the gimbal. Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to it. Also, I was about to accuse the gimbal of being really difficult to use, but honestly, past Isaac set it up to be really simple, and present Isaac made it really difficult. So what I've been doing since I got home, because I am home, I'm here watching the Boys, current new favorite show, the only show that I'm actually watching. So of course it's my new favorite show. And updating TikTok, updating social media, keeping the social media good to go. And as you can see, it does a whole lot of good rocking. Also, another thing that was really difficult to get, not necessarily get, but to get used to, or to at least apply this first time, which is why I say that it's not 100% practical unless it's something that I plan to use or plan to do something with. Have to have the counterbalances to counter out the lens. So there's that. But in the spirit of transparency, since it is currently on my mind, I do have every intention after episode or vlog 100 to move 101 and forward onto my main account and primarily use the Dapper Line account for just photography and videography and stuff like that. And I've just kind of been using the Dapper Line to put the vlogs there to get the experience, to get my feet wet with it, and to kind of have it as a scapegoat, because obviously not a whole lot of people follow the Dapper Line account. So that was kind of an easy way for me to put it up there, get minimal exposure. Because when you put yourself out there on like that internet level scale, obviously it's really, really nerve-wracking and nervous. And I wasn't necessarily sure if I was gonna be up to that level, because at the place where I work, obviously there's a crap load of content that gets done and gets shot. So it would be expected for my content to be at least on that level, on par. And I'm not quite there yet, honestly, unfortunately. So just kind of use that. Also, that being said, I'll probably move it over to being like a weekly vlog, because I feel like the daily vlogs are good, they're cool and all that kind of great stuff, but it's not necessarily something that everybody really wants to see, because I am currently working my personal plan as far as making sure to stay on a budget, to stay on, my diet. I don't want to go on a full-on diet because I'm not like super strict with anything like that. So there are days, sometimes day in and day out, like several days in a row, where I don't really do anything super interesting. So obviously I can't expect everyone to watch me sit around and like watch The Boys. That's not practical. It's not really a thing. So I'll probably move it up to once a week, or maybe twice a week. I don't know. I'm still kind of working out the details on that. I got about another month of uploading to the Dapper Lion before I have to make that full decision on that. So I'm still kind of like chopping up the details, getting to know the YouTube analytics on how everything works and how like posting and all that kind of good stuff goes. But overall, my primary goal, more than anything, is to be more on YouTube than anything, because it's the one, I guess, social media, or the one site so far that has shown the test of time. And my end goal overall is to start making my channel geared primarily towards mental health awareness and suicide awareness. Obviously, I would love to focus on, veterans primarily, but at the end of the day, it still happens to everyone, as well as self-improvement, because those are the few things that I do heavily believe in, and that I have to work on a lot as myself. So there's also a lot of people who want to do the same thing, but when you're taking those first steps, it's really difficult, and it's really like mind-blowing to kind of wrap yourself around those first few steps. So giving like somebody to talk to as a minimum to help get yourself started off is part of my goal. So that is what my trailer, hopefully this week, or should be sometime this weekend for YouTube, will be covering. Have to make sure to put that up. And that's just a quick little update. So because I did promise at the beginning of this to make sure to have some footage on the gimbal, so I'm making sure to get some movement in there, because I know like sitting on my couch sounds really cool and appealing, but it's not what a lot of people really want to fucking see. So that being said, there's like things that I can show around my place, but if you've seen one place in the country, you've seen them all. But as it looks like I have a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, I guess. What do you call them? Condo? I don't know. But it fits and works for me, because it gives me more than enough room. Because one day I might want to be an adult and have an office. So that is the update for now. I'm going to go back to watching The Boys, getting a little bit of, I guess, decompression time in. But also, quick update, the little personal issue is getting slightly better. Other update, I feel like War Bandit is getting tired of getting dismantled. But I can't tell you how awesome I really think this thing is, and I'll probably not stop thinking it's awesome for a long time because it's so freaking mobile. And I'm gonna probably just go with the original name that I had of War Bandit, which is a reference to a cartoon that is one of my cult favorites, called Metabots. The main character, his name is Icky, and the other main character is his Metabot, Metabee. And it's just their entire story, and I love it. And this, I was looking at it initially when I was like getting all the parts and everything together, and it does remind me of the skeleton of all of the Metabots. So you would have your Metabot skeleton, then you would put the parts around it, and you would use the Metabots to battle. So that was my initial, name for it was War Bandit, because War Bandit was this badass, and it was my favorite character of the show. So enough of my rambling. Also, if you can't tell me that Starlight isn't fucking smoking hot, something's wrong with you. But that being said, Starlight is hot, but I also have a thing for blondes. Sorry, not sorry. Alright, before I sign off and go to bed, yes, I have returned to Arc Beetle. I think we're going to settle with Arc Beetle. I am going to do a little bit of meal prep, which should sign off the last little bit of my list for the day. A little bit of a downer towards the end of the night, but them's the breaks. Other than that, I just need to stay on course, and everything will be what it needs to be. We got rice and chicken. The meals and foods and all that kind of stuff of champions, or so I'm told. But the secret to the rice, the secret to the chicken, is barbecue sauce. Now, I'm not trying to compete or any of that kind of good shit. I'm just trying to look good naked. There's a motive at all points in time. That being said, I don't min-max calories. I try to stay in the overall ballpark of my daily caloric intake. And as long as I eat my meals, I will throw barbecue sauce all over these things. Alright, because I need flavor. I do. Or I will lose all interest in all this. So, while they are pre-made and meal prepped and all that other kind of good shit, I still tote around barbecue sauce, and I not necessarily drench it, but I put enough on there to where you taste the sauce. So that's the secret for the day. Just don't worry about it. Find what you need to do to make it work. Good night.